Buhari achieved nothing in 8 years, determined to destroy APC before leaving. Ganduje says, can you imagine? Can you imagine? You have been part of the government for the same 8 years. So why is it that now, you are seeing that the government of Buhari did not achieve anything? You are indirectly telling yourself too that you did not achieve anything because you are part of the government for the full 8 years. Sometimes when these politicians talk, they don't remember that they are also talking to themselves. Because whatever that has happened in APC, all of them are culprit, all of them are part of it. That is the truth. So they can't tell me that it's today that are becoming sent. Now they want to segregate, they want to separate themselves from Buhari government after 7 years and the 9 months. You are trying to remove yourself from all the blames. No. So what Ganduje is saying is like pointing one finger or two fingers at somebody, and the remaining 3 to 4 fingers are pointing at you. That is how it is. So Ganduje cannot come out now to tell us that Buhari government has achieved nothing. I want to destroy APC before leaving. After all, I think it was almost the first governor that was indicted from 2015 when Buhari came into power because of this amount of dollars that they found in Ganduje's house or in office stashed. And that is why the social media space changed its name from Ganduje to Gandolas. And up to today, APC government never investigated him about it. So he's also one of the corrupt governors that must have stashed cash both in naira and in dollars and probably in pounds elsewhere. And now that money, they can't spend it. Again, that rumor that came out that 22.5 billion naira was found within the APC coffers in Kano State might also be true, and that money is useless. So he cannot come out now and cry foul that Buhari's government achieved nothing and bent on destroying APC before leaving because he is part of the team. He can't remove himself now. Kano Governor Abdullahi Ganduje on Thursday said President Muhammadu Buhari did not achieve anything throughout his 8 years in office and is now determined to ruin the All Progressive Congress APC before leaving office in May 2023. In a televised discussion on Thursday, Mr. Ganduje, who spoke in Hausa, reminded the people how Mr. Buhari had failed in his 3 previous attempts before 2015 when political parties merged to form APC and dislodged the People Democratic Party from office. Okay, Mr. Ganduje further stated that Mr. Buhari had no tangible achievement to point out throughout his stay in office, but had instead decided to destroy the party that brought him into power. In the first term, nothing of great importance can point out as his achievement, or can be pointed out as his achievement, same as in his second term. So why is he bringing out all these policies now? Why not 7 years ago? He just wants to collapse the party that brought him, he said. How could care for Nigerians and then propose such a policy, as the Naira redesign? Why not 7 years ago or after the election? This shows he is not a good leader. If he is, he would not remain calm seeing people setting properties on fire out of frustration. The Kano governor added, "This is why we went to the court and stand against them because we know that their motive is to prevent free and fair election. By God's grace, all of their efforts will be in vain because we will reverse all these policies as soon as we win the election." Can you imagine? The APC stalwart also mentioned that he would adhere to orders of the Supreme Court that recognize continuous usage of old Naira notes, even as the presidency and the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, are asking the banks to stop accepting the note because they had ceased to be legal tender in Nigeria. People's businesses are suffering, and you are asking for more time. I have ordered the closure of any supermarket that rejects old Naira note. Supreme Court recognizes the note, and you are asking banks not to accept the note. Who is more powerful between the court and them? Mr. Ganduje an ally of the president, said. A spokesman for the president did not return a request seeking comment about the Kano governor's comment on Thursday night. The attack came as other members of the president's party were intensifying their pushback against the decision to delete 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes across the country. The politicians, mostly governors of the ruling party, said Mr. Buhari's action was designed to plunge the nation into chaos. Governor Nasser El-Rufai said the Buhari administration was working towards a military coup in Nigeria, saying an army general had already been pegged down to lead an interim government when Mr. Buhari's tenure ends on May 31st. The president had denied any nefarious motives behind the policy, saying it was designed to curb money laundering and vote buying during the upcoming general election. And that sounds to be the truth. Okay, they created the Naira design because they have seen people that have stashed money to induce people during election, and that is why, especially CBN is doing what it's doing. Coupled with the fact that CBN also attempted going for the presidency during the election but failed. He quickly dropped the idea and retained his office as CBN governor, and probably that's why he's still relevant till today. Somebody like Amechi that resigned from his ministry to become presidential aspirant, today is nowhere. He didn't win the primaries election. He is not even a minister anymore. But Mefele, in his own case, smartly, canceled his idea of going for the president and then retained his office as CBN governor, and today is making waves. So having seen all of these, probably he came up with all of these ideas to make sure there's no vote buying, to make sure there's free and fair election, also to make sure that those APC candidates that frustrated him actually do not have the agenda to influence the election in their own direction will not work or does not work. Can you imagine? So now Ganduje and the El-Rufai are crying foul. Now El-Rufai is now like accusing federal government of planning a coup, of planning to hand over to a retired army general as an interim as an interim president for an interim government while he leaves office. If Buhari does not conclude this election properly and hand over, then it will be a negative for him. Okay, it will be a very big negative for him. If he stayed 8 years, okay, and then could not conduct election to hand over? Jonathan stayed only 6 years and conducted election and handed over. Now he's staying 8 years and he cannot conduct election and hand over. That would be too bad for him. So how does he think that an interim president will conduct election probably in 6 months or 1 year and then hand over government? It's not possible. Except they want to repeat what happened in 1993, where they scuttled Abiola's election, handed over to Ernest Shonekan, and in 6 months, Abdulsalami Abubakar overthrew Ernest Shonekan's government and then stayed there for a few years and conducted actual election and handed over. Yeah? So how can we, and if not that, Abubakar's government, that is Abdulsalami Abubakar's wife, was a Supreme Court Chief Judge. I tell you, probably that military man would not have handed over. It would have been like the case of Babangida and Abacha. Quite unfortunate. So that is what is happening here. Ganduje is blaming Buhari for not achieving anything and wanting to destroy Nigeria. The same way El-Rufai is saying that, accusing Buhari of planning a coup to hand over to a military administrator and then leave office and go home. They have to finish this election. But Buhari's government is saying no. What we are trying to do while doing Naira redesigning is to avoid vote buying and run a free and fair election. Okay? And run a free and fair election. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment for sharing.